Hi there, my name is Melaminah. Welcome to Pose Breakdown. Today we're going to be exploring 3 different levels of back bend. The first one will be a Sphynx pose, the second one will be Cobra, and the third will be seal pose. So this is great for any level. If we are brand new and just starting out, we would definitely want to start with the Sphynx position. And as we get stronger in our body and more familiar with how the poses feel in our body, we can practice some of the other postures as well. So I chose this series of postures today because they are back bends, which are also heart openers. And there's been so much going on in the world today that I thought we could all use a little bit more heart opening. I'd also love to share this quote with you from Theodore Roosevelt. He says, "Do what you can with what you have where you are." And I love that. He's saying that we all have exactly what we need, and we all have a gift to give with what we already possess. We don't need to strive for anything more. So let's keep that in mind as we move through these poses today. We don't need to strive for anything more. Just be with what you feel in your body right here, right now. Listen to that, honor it, and breathe. All right, so if you are not warmed up, please take a few moments to warm yourself up before moving into these postures. And a great way to do that is maybe a cat and a cow. So bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and just moving a couple of times in cat and cow, or moving the spine around in any other direction that feels good. So once you feel nice and warmed up, we're gonna make our way onto our belly to explore our first posture, which is Sphynx pose. So we're going to build these postures from the feet forward. In all 3 of these postures, the lower body is going to be the same. So we want to lift the legs up a little bit, create a little bit of extra space in the hip flexor, and we want to be mindful that the front, the very middle of our thigh, is down on the ground. So we don't want to favor one side or the other. We want the very center of our thigh down on the earth. And when we're able to do that, we can have access to all 10 of our toes pressing down into the floor as well. Now notice that my toes are untucked. They're not tucked under, but they're untucked so that the top of my foot is flush against the earth. So let's bring a little bit of activity into that. We're gonna press the tops of our feet wildly down. Watch my knees when that happens. This is relaxed. I'm not doing anything, no engagement. But then when I think about my feet, I'm not thinking about my knees, I'm thinking about my feet. Pressing the feet down into the earth, the knees just magically lift. That may or may not happen for you. If it does, great. If not, that's okay too. Just know that you're activating the legs here. So let's move our awareness up to the pelvis. One moment, please. All right. So, pressing the tops of the feet wildly down into the earth, and then moving the awareness to the pelvis. So we want to scoop the pelvis under so that we're, it's almost like we're taking the tops of our sitting bone, or the pelvic bone, hip bones on our pelvis here, and it's almost like we're sending them down into our heels. So imagine that happening, and then start to take the awareness to the belly button. Feel the belly button lift up and away from the mat. So that's pretty much it for the lower body. Nice, active, strong lower body. And then let's talk about the upper body. So for Sphynx pose, we're going to bring our forearms down to the mat with our elbows directly underneath the shoulders. We want the joints to be stacked because when the joints are stacked, we're more stable and we're stronger, and we help to protect the joints, which is exactly what we want to do in our practice, right? We want to protect our joints. So elbows underneath shoulders. Let's take a nice deep breath. Inhaling, rolling the shoulders back and down, and on the exhale, softening in. I like to picture a little hammock. It's almost like my heart is sitting in a hammock that's being run from the left shoulder to the right. The other thing, let's talk about our hands for a moment. We want to spread the fingers nice and wide, pressing all 4 corners of the palm into the earth. And then let's activate the arms here too. So it's almost like I'm going to drag myself across the floor. I'm pulling carefully, there's not a whole lot of effort here, but there is a slight energy of our elbows pulling back towards our waistline. And then from there, we can feel the heart sending its energy forward. And then let's check in with the neck here. We don't want to crunch our neck back and end up harming our cervical spine, but instead we want to keep the length in the back of the neck here. So think about the occipital bones. There's these two bones at the base of our spine here, lifting up towards the ceiling. It's going to tuck our chin towards our chest a little bit and then draw the chin back. Good. So nice long back of the neck, shoulders down away from the ears, heart sending its energy forward, feet digging down into the earth. Last breath, and then releasing. Good. So we can wiggle the hips here, or maybe even windshield our legs from side to side, windshield wiper our legs from side to side, in an effort to give our low back a little bit of love. So if we have any low back sensitivities, we want to be really careful with back bends. Even when we do back bends properly, we can kind of talk to our low back a little bit, and it might talk back to us. So being really careful with our back, very mindful, and taking time to let the low back kind of rebound from the pose. So let's move to the second posture. The second posture we're going to explore in this series is Cobra pose. So it's a little bit more challenging for those of us who are ready for that challenge. But let's start with the feet and make our way forward through the body once again. So tops of the feet down, tops of the thighs down, pressing the tops of the feet wildly into the earth, noticing the knees might lift. Let's scoop the tailbone, engage the belly button, lifting it in and up. And then we'll slide our hands, this time palms on the ground, right beside our rib cage, and squeeze the elbows in towards the body. So even if I don't go anywhere else, I can start to feel activity in my back already. We might even feel some energy in the tricep, the back of the arm here, hands and fingers engaging into the earth, spreading the fingers nice and wide, and that same kind of drawing back energy like we did when we were in Sphynx pose. So drawing our hands back towards our waist. Let's keep hugging the elbows in, nice strong low body here, and then inhaling, exhaling, and then inhaling, pressing the earth away. Now notice my pelvis is still on the ground here, softening the glutes just a little so that we don't squeeze our sacrum, and then tucking the chin towards the chest, feeling those occipital ridges of the head lifting up as well. Last breath here, and then releasing down. So do know that we don't have to go very far. If our back is not ready, if it hurts, if we ever feel pain, that's our body's way of saying stop. If we just feel discomfort, that's okay. That's just an edge that we can breathe into. But do know that the Cobra pose might be here, it might be here, and then as we get stronger and more flexible, it might start to make its way up. There's no right, wrong, there's no right place, and there's no destination. So let's explore the last posture that we're going to go through today, which is our seal pose. So we're going to start back in Sphynx. So making our way up through the body, through the feet. So pressing the tops of the feet down, activating the legs, scooping the tailbone under, creating length in the low back. Strong belly button lifting in and up as we interact with our core center, the strength in the middle of our body. And then let's bring our forearms to the ground once again, spreading fingers, rolling shoulders back and down. So this is Sphynx. We've been here before. When we're ready to move into seal pose, we'll start to press the floor away, bringing our arms towards straight. Now notice I'm not locking my joints because that again puts a lot of pressure on the joints themselves. So instead we want to grip the floor, squeeze skin to muscle, muscle to bone. Notice my pelvis is still down on the ground, lifting up through the back of the head so we stay long in the back of the neck, and then softening the shoulders down and away, creating that little cradle for the heart to rest in. One more breath here, and then let's go ahead and release all the way down. We can rest the upper body as we give the lower body a little love, maybe wagging our hips from side to side or windshield wipering our feet. And then anytime when we're complete with our back bends, we want to wait until we're completely done. But when we're done with our back bends, we'll do a little counter posture. So sliding the hands under the shoulders, pressing ourselves up. Let's make our way into child's pose. So more gentle is going to be knees about as wide as the mat, letting our head either rest on the forehead, on the floor, or we can rest our forehead on our fists. Maybe we rock gently from side to side, or maybe we stay in stillness. Or we can also bring our arms on the sides of the body with our hands by our feet. If we want a little bit of a deeper opening for the low back, we can bring the knees closer together and then drape our upper body over our legs. And then same arm options. We can have the arms extended with the forehead resting on a book or the floor, or I like to make fists and rest my forehead on the fists. Or you can rest your forehead on the earth or bricks or books and bring the hands back by the feet. We can stay in stillness or rock gently from side to side. All right, when we're complete with that, coming back to a seated position for a moment and giving ourselves a little bit of gratitude for this opportunity to move our body, for taking this opportunity to move our body, and knowing that acceptance does not necessarily mean that we're okay with something. Acceptance is just the next step into something else. So as Theodore Roosevelt said, I don't want to butcher his words, so as he said, do what you can with what you have where you are. And then from there, we can create the change that we want. We have to start somewhere, and that's the place to start, with what we have where we are. Thank you so much for coming to this pose breakdown today. I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Melaminah. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or interpretive dances, you can reach me at melaminah.com. I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much. Namaste.